Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. So, I am a little behind for day 4 for the Halloween Horror 4. So, today you guys are going to get a couple of videos. But for day 4, I decided to kind of just take a small little break from the Psycho films and decided to go the Tim Burton route and decided to watch Sleepy Hollow. Now, I've always been a fan and been fascinated of the Headless Horseman story. I find it to be just a very chilling and unique story or myth, whatever it may be. But I've always found it very interesting, and I like a lot of the versions that we have gotten over the years, including the TV series. And Tim Burton, of course, decided to direct his own version of the film, and I gotta say, this movie never gets talked about. I feel like this is one of Tim Burton's very underrated films. When you think of Tim Burton, of course, you're gonna think of Batman, Beetlejuice, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, or some of like his later, films like Big Eyes, or even Big Fish, which I think came out in like the early to mid 2000s, give or take. I'm not 100% sure on that, but Sleepy Hollow, I never hear anybody talk about. And this movie has a outstanding cast. Of course, you have Johnny Depp, who, you know, is one of those actors who has had numerous films with Tim Burton, like Sweeney Todd is a prime example. I think Alice in Wonderland, and you have, of course, Christina Ricci, who is well known from the Addams Family films. She was in Casper, and she could, just like her and Johnny Depp, they continued to act as well as a few actors in this film. But there's also a few actors who have gone and, are no longer with us. And then there's actors you would never expect to be in a Tim Burton film, like Casper Van Dien, who is an actor I absolutely love. Even though he does a lot of like B type movies, I still find what he does pretty enjoyable. And all around, just I've heard he's a great down to earth person. So hopefully one day I'll get the opportunity to meet him. But yeah, to see him in a Tim Burton film, I thought was cool, but it felt so out of place because I just feel like he's not the type of actor who would be in this type of film because he's so well known for doing these like B type films. But that's just my opinion. But Johnny Depp plays Ichabod Crane, who is investigating the headless horseman, murders and just everything that deals with the headless horseman, and kind of tries to hopefully stop these killings that are happening, these beheadings, and it leads them to Christina Ricci's character, who has this dark past, uh, and tie-ins with the Headless Horseman. Now, fair warning, there will be a few spoilers in here, so if you have not seen the film, stop this video, go watch it, and then come back. Um, but what I do find well, first and foremost, the Headless Horseman is played by Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken, is no stranger to the Tim Burton universe. He played Max Schreck in Batman Returns, and I think that might have been it. I think this was the, first time, or it's the second film he's worked with Tim Burton, but I think it was the first time to work again since, well, what's the term I'm looking for? I was gonna say like the first time since the last movie they worked on, something like that, but I don't think that makes sense. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, this is I think the only film after, just those two films that Tim Burton and Christopher Walken has worked on, because I can't remember anything else he's been in other than this, and of course Batman Returns. So to see him return after so many years since Batman Returns was pretty awesome. But yeah, he plays the Headless Horseman, very creepy. Just the performance was fantastic. Um, and you do have one character who ties into all of this, who's really the reason why the Headless Horseman is returning and beheading these individuals. And there's just like this really dark story that goes on. Now, what I do like, because it's of course Tim Burton, you do get some of that Tim Burton. What's the term I'm looking for? There's one specific scene. You get that Tim Burton like CGI type, almost similar to Large Marge from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. There's a specific scene with the Headless Horseman, which I think is fantastic. Just bear with me, I'm dealing with my allergies. But yeah, that scene I thought was really cool, almost like a nod to Pee Wee's Big Adventure in some way. The atmosphere in this is just absolutely amazing. You know, it's you're in this small town. Most of it is just woods. It's just this dark, cloudy, foggy setting, and I like it. I think it works. I think the performance from everybody is good, but I do feel like the acting is not the greatest with a lot of the actors. I think there are certain actors. I feel one, they're out of place. Two, they just are trying too hard. So I don't think the chemistry's there. But story wise, I think it's fantastic. And then just bear with me on my allergies. Um, so all in all, for this film, it does have its flaws, but I think it's still a great film. I still think it, is underrated. It's not one that gets talked about. I think just the actors alone that are in this film are it's a great choice. I just feel like their acting could have been a little bit better. I feel like the chemistry could have been a little bit better between everybody. But for what we got, I think it works for what it is, but could be better. That's the sum of it, of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Sleepy Hollow, a great, what is it, late 90s, 98, 1999. Yeah, so a great late 90s Tim Burton film, highly underrated. And if you have not seen this movie, go check it out. I think you guys will have a good time with it. Danny Elfman, of course, returns to score the film, and you know, a lot of times his scores sound similar from every film, but with some changes. But it works, and he's no stranger to the Tim Burton universe. They have been collaborating for decades, so to see him, of course, return for this is fantastic. And yeah, I wish I could say more. I'm sure by now everyone has seen this movie, but hope you guys enjoyed my review and my thoughts for day 4 of the Halloween Horror 4, Sleepy Hollow. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to give this video a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel for more content. I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Until next time, we'll talk films. You guys have a good one. Take care. I will see you guys next time.